The vast darkness of space stretched out before the UES horizon, Earth's most advanced spaceship. Captain Dae-sung Kim stood on the bridge, his eyes fixed on the main screen. He was a tall man with short black hair and a serious face. His blue uniform showed his rank clearly. "Captain, we're picking up a strange signal," said Officer Min Seo-lee. She sat at her station, her fingers moving quickly over the controls. "It's not like anything we've seen before." Captain Kim walked over to her station. "Can you clean it up?" Min Seo nodded and worked on the signal. Soon, a crackling voice filled the bridge. The words were strange, but the tone was clear. It was a cry for help. "It's a distress call," Captain Kim said. He turned to his crew. "Where is it coming from?" Lieutenant Jae-yun Park, the ship's navigator, spoke up. "Sir, the signal is coming from the Epsilon sector. It's outside our normal space." The crew looked at each other. They had never gone that far before. Earth had only started to explore space a few years ago. They thought they were alone in the universe. But now, this signal changed everything. Captain Kim took a deep breath. "Well, crew, it looks like we're about to make history. Set a course for the Epsilon sector." As the UES horizon changed direction, excitement spread through the ship. They were going to meet aliens, but no one knew if these aliens would be friends or enemies. Hours passed as they traveled towards the signal. The crew prepared for anything. They checked their weapons, just in case. They also got ready to talk and make peace. Suddenly, the ship's alarms went off. Red lights flashed everywhere. "Report," Captain Kim shouted. "Sir, we've entered a war zone," cried Officer Jae-hoon Kang. On the main screen, they could see two different groups of spaceships fighting each other. One group had sleek, silver ships that moved gracefully. They were clearly losing the fight. The other group had big, ugly ships that were black and red. These ships were winning and didn't fight fair. "The distress call is coming from the silver ships," Min Seo said. Captain Kim nodded. "Open a channel to the silver ships." After a few tries, a face appeared on the screen. It wasn't human. The alien had blue skin and large, kind eyes. It looked scared. "This is Captain Dae-sung Kim of the UES Horizon. We received your distress call. How can we help?" The alien's eyes widened. You came to help us." "Oh, thank the stars. I am Zal of the Krill. We are under attack by the Voltar Empire. They want to take our worlds and make us slaves. Please, can you help us?" Before Captain Kim could answer, another face appeared on the screen. This alien was red with sharp teeth. It looked angry. "I am Commander Grok of the Voltar Empire. This is not your fight, primitive humans. Leave now, or we will destroy you too." The bridge went quiet. Everyone looked at Captain Kim. He stood tall and spoke calmly. "Commander Grok, we don't want to fight, but we won't stand by and watch innocent people get hurt. I ask you to stop your attack." Grok laughed. It was an ugly sound. "You dare to give me orders? Your ship is nothing compared to our fleet. This is your last warning. Leave or die." The screen went black. Captain Kim turned to his crew. They all waited for his decision. This was a big moment. What they did next could start a war with aliens, or it could be the beginning of a great friendship. Captain Kim looked at each member of his crew. Then he smiled. "Well, it looks like we have a choice to make. Do we run and hide, or do we stand up for what's right?" The crew stood up straight. They all knew the answer. "Officer Kang, ready our weapons. Lieutenant Park, move us between the Krill and the Voltar ships. Min Seo, send a message to Earth. Tell them we've made first contact, and we're going to need some help out here." As the UES horizon moved into position, Captain Kim felt proud. They were about to show these aliens what humans were made of. And he had a feeling the Voltar were in for a big surprise. The UES horizon moved slowly between the Krill and Voltar ships. Captain Dae-sung Kim watched the main screen closely. The Voltar ships were big and mean-looking. They had lots of guns pointed at the human ship. "Sir, the Voltar are hailing us again," said Officer Min Seo-lee. Captain Kim nodded. "Put them on screen." Commander Gruk's red face appeared. He looked even angrier than before. "Human ship, move aside. This is your last warning." Captain Kim stood tall. "I'm sorry, Commander, but we can't do that. We won't let you hurt the krill." Grok's eyes narrowed. "You are making a big mistake, human. Our ships will crush you like a bug." The screen went black again. Captain Kim turned to his crew. "Well, it looks like we're in for a fight. Lieutenant Jae-yun Park, can you open a channel to the krill?" Jae-yun nodded and worked at her station. Soon, Zal's blue face appeared on the screen. "Human friends, you are very brave," Zal said. "But the Voltar are too strong. We don't want you to die for us." Captain Kim smiled. "Don't worry about us, Zal. We may surprise you. Can you tell us more about what's happening here?" As Zal began to explain, Officer Jae-hoon Kang shouted, "Captain, the Voltar ships are powering up their weapons." Captain Kim's voice was calm but firm. "Shields up. Get ready to return fire if needed." The bridge was tense as everyone waited. Suddenly, bright beams of energy shot out from the Voltar ships. They hit the horizon's shields, making the whole ship shake. "Shields holding at 95% stir," reported Jae-hoon. Captain Kim nodded. "Good. Let's show them what we can do." Fire warning shots across their lidship's bow. The horizon's weapons fired. Bright blue energy beams zipped past the front of the biggest Voltar ship. The alien ship stopped firing, seeming surprised. "They didn't expect us to fight back," said Jae-yun. Captain Kim turned back to the screen where Zal was watching with wide eyes. "Now, Zal, please continue. Why are the Voltar attacking you?" Zal blinked, then spoke. "The Voltar want our planets. They say we are weak and don't deserve them. They have been attacking us for months. We are not warriors. We just want peace." As Zal talked, Min Seo worked at her station. "Captain," she said, "I'm picking up a signal. It's from Earth." "Put it through," said Captain Kim. Admiral Sung-ho Choi's face appeared on another screen. He looked serious. "Captain Kim, we got your message. What's the situation?" Captain Kim explained quickly about the krill and the Voltar. "Sir, we're outgunned here, but I don't think we can just leave the krill to be destroyed." Admiral Choi nodded slowly. "This is a big decision, Captain. Getting involved in an alien war could have serious consequences for Earth." Just then, Jae-hoon shouted again, "Captain, the Voltar ships are moving. They're trying to go around us to attack the krill." Captain Kim had to think fast. He looked at the scared face of Zal, the serious face of Admiral Choi, and the determined faces of his crew. "Admiral," he said, "I know this is risky, but if we don't help the krill now, who will? And what will it say about humanity if we just stand by and watch?" Admiral Choi was quiet for a moment. Then he straightened up. "You're right, Captain. We can't ignore this. You have permission to protect the krill. But be careful. We're sending reinforcements, but they won't arrive for several hours." Captain Kim nodded. "Thank you, sir. We'll do our best." As the call ended, Captain Kim turned to his crew. "All right, everyone. This is it. We're going to show the Voltar that humans stand up for what's right. Jae-yun, tell the krill to get behind us. Jae-hoon, ready all weapons. Min Seo, keep an eye on the Voltar ships. Let's show them what the UES Horizon can really do." The crew sprang into action. As the Horizon moved to block the Voltar ships, its engines glowed brighter. Hidden panels on its hull began to open, revealing weapons the Voltar had never seen before. On the Voltar ships, Commander Grok watched in surprise. He had thought the human ship was weak. Now he was starting to worry. What other surprises did these humans have? As both sides prepared for battle, the stars seemed to hold their breath. The peace of space was about to be broken by a fight that would change the galaxy forever. The space between the UES horizon and the Voltar fleet crackled with tension. Captain Dae-sung Kim stood on the bridge, his eyes fixed on the main screen. The Voltar ships looked like angry black clouds ready to storm. "Sir, the Voltar are hailing us again," Officer Min Seo-lee reported. Captain Kim nodded. "Put them through." Commander Gruk's red face filled the screen. His sharp teeth were bared in a snarl. "Human ship, this is your final chance. Move aside or be destroyed." Captain Kim stood tall. His voice was calm but firm. "Commander Grok, we won't let you hurt the Krill. But we don't want to fight you. There must be a peaceful way to solve this." Grok laughed. It was an ugly sound. "Peace. The Voltar Empire doesn't do peace. We take what we want." As Grok spoke, Lieutenant Jae-yun Park whispered to Captain Kim, "Sir, I've been studying their ships. They have a weak spot near their engines. If we hit them there, we might be able to disable them without destroying them." Captain Kim nodded slightly. He turned back to the screen. "Commander Gruk, I ask you one last time. Please, stop your attack. We don't want anyone to get hurt." Grok's eyes narrowed. "You dare to threaten the Voltar Empire? You will regret this, humans." The screen went black. Captain Kim turned to his crew. "All right, everyone. This is it. Remember, our goal is to protect the Krill and disable the Voltar ships if we can. We don't want to destroy them if we don't have to." Just then, a new voice came over the comm system. It was Admiral Sung Ho Choi from Earth. "Captain Kim, we've been monitoring the situation. The UN Security Council has made a decision. You are authorized to use all necessary force to protect the Krill and defend yourselves. But remember, the eyes of Earth are on you. What you do today will shape humanity's place in the galaxy." Captain Kim stood a little straighter. "Understood, Admiral. We won't let Earth down." As the call ended, Officer Jae-hoon Kang shouted, "Captain, the Voltar ships are powering up their weapons." Captain Kim's voice was steady. "Shields to maximum. Jae-hoon, target their engine weak spots. Min Seo, keep an eye on the Krill ships. Make sure they stay behind us." The bridge was quiet for a moment. Everyone knew what was coming. They were about to fight their first battle against aliens. The fate of the Krill, and maybe even Earth, depended on what they did next. Suddenly, the space around them lit up. The Voltar ships fired all at once. Their energy beams hit the horizon's shields, making the whole ship shake. "Shields at 80%, Captain," Jae-hoon reported. Captain Kim nodded. "Return fire. Aim for their engines." The horizon's weapons came to life. Blue beams shot out, hitting the Voltar ships right where Jae-yun had spotted their weakness. Two of the alien ships started to spin, their engines damaged. On the Voltar command ship, Commander Grok was shocked. How did the humans know where to hit? And how were their weapons so strong? He had thought this would be an easy fight. Now he wasn't so sure. Back on the horizon, the crew cheered as they saw the Voltar ships falter. But Captain Kim knew the battle was far from over. "Good work, everyone. But stay focused. There are still more ships out there." As the fight continued, the Krill watched in amazement. They had never seen anyone stand up to the Voltar like this. Zal, the Krill leader, sent a message to the horizon. "Brave humans, we cannot thank you enough. But please be careful. The Voltar are tricky. They always have a secret plan." Captain Kim heard Zal's warning. He turned to Jae-yun. "Scan the area. Make sure the Voltar don't have any surprises waiting for us." Jae-yun nodded and got to work. As she studied her screens, her eyes went wide. "Captain, I'm picking up some strange readings. There's something big out there, hiding behind that moon." Captain Kim felt a chill. What were the Voltar hiding? Whatever it was, he knew they had to be ready for anything. He looked at his crew. They were tired, but their eyes were bright with determination. He felt proud of them. No matter what the Voltar threw at them next, he knew they would face it together. "All right, everyone," he said. "Let's show these aliens what humans can do. Whatever they're hiding, we'll be ready for it." As the horizon prepared for the next phase of the battle, the stars seemed to watch. The fate of 3 races, human, Krill, and Voltar, hung in the balance, and the greatest surprise was yet to come. The UES horizon hung in space, its shields glowing from the recent attack. Captain Dae-sung Kim's eyes were fixed on the main screen, watching the damaged Voltar ships drift. "Status report," he called out. Officer Jae-hoon Kang responded quickly. "Shields at 65%, Captain. We've disabled 2 Voltar ships, but 3 more are still active." Captain Kim nodded. "Good work, but we're not out of the woods yet." He turned to Lieutenant Jae-yun Park. "Any update on that strange reading behind the moon?" Jae-yun shook her head. "Not yet, sir. Whatever it is, it's big and well hidden." Suddenly, Officer Min Seo Lee shouted, "Captain, the remaining Voltar ships are moving. They're retreating." The bridge crew watched in surprise as the Voltar ships turned and started to move away. But Captain Kim's eyes narrowed. "It's too easy," he muttered. "They're up to something." As if on cue, the space behind the moon lit up. A massive ship, easily 3 times the size of the horizon, emerged from hiding. Its black hull was covered in red markings, and countless weapon ports dotted its surface. "By the stars," whispered Jae-yun. "It's a Voltar dreadnought." The huge ship moved slowly, positioning itself between the horizon and the retreating Voltar vessels. Its weapon ports began to glow ominously. Captain Kim's mind raced. They were outgunned and their shields were weakened, but he couldn't let the Voltar win. He thought quickly. "Min Seo, open a channel to the Krill," he ordered. When Zal's blue face appeared on the screen, Captain Kim spoke urgently. "Zal, we need your help. Can your ships create a distraction? We need to buy some time." Zal looked nervous, but nodded. "We will do what we can, brave humans." As the Krill ships began to move, darting around the edges of the battlefield, Captain Kim turned to his crew. "All right, everyone. This is where we show them what we're really made of. Jae-yun, I need you to find a weak spot on that dreadnought. Jae-hoon, be ready to fire everything we've got when I give the word." The massive Voltar ship fired its first salvo. Huge beams of energy lashed out, striking the horizon's shields. The entire ship shook violently. "Shields down to 40%, Jae-hoon reported, his voice tense. Captain Kim gripped his chair. "Hold steady. Jae-yun, talk to me. Where can we hit them?" Jae-yun's fingers flew over her console. "Their shield generator. It's on the underside of the ship, if we can get under them." "That's it." Captain Kim stood up. "Min Seo, full power to engines. We're going to dive under that monster." The horizon's engines roared to life. The ship plunged forward, racing towards the gigantic Voltar dreadnought. On the main screen, the alien ship grew larger and larger. Commander Grok, watching from the dreadnought's bridge, laughed. "Look at the tiny human ship. They think they can fight us." He turned to his weapons officer. "Destroy them." The dreadnought fired again, its beams barely missing the horizon as it sped towards them. The human ship rolled and dodged, weaving through the barrage of fire. "Almost there," Captain Kim said, his voice steady despite the chaos. "Get ready, Jae-hoon." The horizon dove, slipping under the massive bulk of the Voltar ship. For a moment, the human vessel was dwarfed by its enemy, looking like a small fish next to a whale. "Now," shouted Captain Kim. Jae-hoon fired everything they had. The horizon's weapons lit up the underside of the dreadnought. There was a blinding flash, and then silence. For a heartbeat, nothing happened. Then, slowly, the lights on the Voltar ship began to flicker and die. "Direct hit," Jae-yun cried out. "Their shield generator is down. The bridge crew cheered, but Captain Kim raised a hand for quiet. It's not over yet. That ship is still a threat, even without shields. Min Seo, hail them. Commander Gruk's face appeared on the screen. He looked shocked and angry. How? How did you do that? What kind of weapons do you have? Captain Kim stood tall. The kind that just beat your best ship, Commander. Now, I'll ask you one last time. Stand down and leave the krill alone. Gruk's red face turned even darker. He opened his mouth to speak, but then someone whispered in his ear. His eyes went wide. This isn't over, humans, Gruk snarled. The screen went black. To everyone's surprise, the massive dreadnought began to turn away. The remaining Voltar ships formed up around it, and together, they started to retreat. The bridge of the horizon was silent for a moment. Then cheers erupted. They had done it. They had faced the mighty Voltar fleet and won. But as Captain Kim watched the aliens leave, he couldn't help but wonder what had made Commander Gruk change his mind so suddenly, and what would happen when the Voltar returned. For now, though, they had a victory to celebrate. As the krill ships approached to thank them, Captain Kim allowed himself a small smile. Whatever came next, he knew his crew would be ready. As the Voltar ships disappeared into the distance, the crew of the UES Horizon let out a collective sigh of relief. Captain Dae-sung Kim, however, remained alert. He knew the battle might be over, but the war was far from won. Good work, everyone, he said, his voice calm but tired. But stay sharp. We don't know if they'll be back. Just then, Officer Min Seo Lee called out, Captain, we're receiving a transmission from Earth. Captain Kim nodded. Put it through. Admiral Sung Ho Choi's face appeared on the main screen. He looked both worried and proud. Captain Kim, we've been watching everything. You and your crew have done an incredible job, but we have new information. The Voltar aren't retreating. They're regrouping for a massive attack. The bridge went quiet. Captain Kim felt a chill run down his spine. How many ships? Admiral, at least 50. Admiral Choi replied grimly, including 5 dreadnoughts. Captain Kim's mind raced. They had barely survived 1 dreadnought. How could they face 5? Not to mention all the other ships. Admiral Choi continued, Captain, given the circumstances, you are hereby authorized to use the Horizon's true form. The crew gasped. Captain Kim's eyes widened. Sir, are you sure? Once we do this, there's no going back. The whole galaxy will know. The Admiral nodded solemnly. It's time, Captain. Show them what humanity is truly capable of. As the transmission ended, the bridge erupted in excited whispers. Captain Kim turned to his crew, his face serious. All right, everyone. You heard the Admiral. It's time to show the Voltar and the rest of the galaxy what the UES Horizon really is. He pressed a button on his chair. A small panel opened, revealing a glowing blue key. Captain Kim took a deep breath and turned the key. Suddenly, the whole ship began to vibrate. Outside, panels on the Horizon's hull started to shift and move. The ship began to grow, expanding in all directions. Inside, new rooms and corridors appeared out of nowhere. Weapon systems that had been hidden came to life. The bridge itself transformed, becoming larger and more advanced. In space, the krill watched in awe as the human ship changed before their eyes. What had once been a relatively small vessel was now a massive battleship, easily rivaling the Voltar dreadnoughts in size. On the Voltar command ship, Commander Gruk stared at his view screen in disbelief. What is happening? He stammered. His second-in-command, equally shocked, replied, Sir, the human ship. It's transformed. Our sensors indicate its power levels are off the charts. Back on the Horizon, the transformation was complete. Captain Kim stood in the center of the new expanded bridge. Holographic displays floated around him, showing the ship's new capabilities. Status report, he called out. Officer Jae-hoon Kang. His eyes wide with excitement, responded, "All systems operational, Captain. We have access to advanced energy weapons, quantum torpedoes, and a shield system 10 times stronger than before." Lieutenant Jae-yun Park added, "Sir, our sensors can now scan the entire sector. I'm detecting the Voltar fleet. They'll be here in 20 minutes." Captain Kim nodded. He turned to Min-seo. "Open a channel to the krill." When Zal's blue face appeared on the screen, his eyes were huge with wonder. "Human friends? What? How?" Captain Kim smiled. "Zal, there's a lot we haven't told you. The UES Horizon is more than just a ship. It's humanity's greatest achievement, a transforming battleship designed to protect Earth and its allies from any threat." Zal blinked rapidly, trying to process this information. "But why didn't you use this before?" "We hoped we wouldn't need to," Captain Kim explained. "We wanted to solve this peacefully. But now, with the Voltar bringing their full fleet, we have no choice." He paused, then continued, "Zal, I promise you this. We will protect your people. The Voltar will not harm another krill while we're here." Zal's eyes filled with tears of gratitude. "Thank you, brave humans. We will never forget this." As the transmission ended, Captain Kim turned back to his crew. They all stood at attention, ready for his orders. "All right, everyone," he said, his voice filled with determination. "The Voltar think they know what they're dealing with. They think they've seen everything we can do. Let's show them how wrong they are." The crew cheered. As they prepared for the coming battle, Captain Kim looked out at the stars. In a few minutes, those stars would be filled with Voltar ships. But this time, he knew, the fight would be very different. The true power of humanity was about to be revealed, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The stars twinkled peacefully in the vast expanse of space, but this peace was about to be shattered. The newly transformed UES Horizon floated majestically, its size now rivaling that of the Voltar dreadnoughts. Captain Dae-sung Kim stood at the center of the bridge, his eyes fixed on the holographic displays around him. The crew worked quietly, tension filling the air. Suddenly, Lieutenant Jae-yun Park's voice broke the silence. "Captain, the Voltar fleet is dropping out of faster-than-light travel. They're here." The main screen lit up, showing a terrifying sight. 50 Voltar ships, including 5 massive dreadnoughts, appeared in front of them. It looked like a wall of metal and weapons. Captain Kim's face remained calm. "All right, everyone. This is what we've prepared for. Jae-hoon, power up all weapons. Min-seo, make sure our shields are at maximum strength." As the crew carried out his orders, the captain turned to Jae-yun. "Open a channel to the Voltar fleet." Commander Gruk's red face appeared on the screen. His eyes widened in shock when he saw the transformed horizon. What is this trickery?" he sputtered. Captain Kim spoke firmly. "This is no trick, Commander. This is the true form of the UES Horizon. I'll ask you one last time. Leave the krill in peace, or face the consequences." Gruk's surprise turned to anger. "You think your little magic trick scares us? We are the Voltar Empire. We fear nothing." He turned to someone off-screen. "All ships, attack." The screen went dark. Captain Kim's voice rang out. "Brace for impact." The space between the two fleets lit up as the Voltar ships fired. Beams of energy and missiles streaked towards the horizon. But when they hit the ship's shields, something unexpected happened. The attacks seemed to dissolve, leaving the horizon untouched. "Shield holding at 100%, sir," reported Min-seo, excitement in her voice. Captain Kim nodded. "Good. Now it's our turn. Jae-hoon, target their lead ships. Fire quantum torpedoes." Jae-hoon's fingers flew over his console. "Firing now, Captain." From the horizon, several glowing blue orbs shot out. They moved faster than any normal weapon, easily dodging the Voltar ships' attempts to shoot them down. When they hit their targets, the results were spectacular. 3 Voltar ships, including one of the dreadnoughts, exploded in a brilliant flash of light. On the Voltar command ship, panic began to spread. "Sir," cried out an officer, "we've lost the Deathbringer and 2 cruisers. Our weapons aren't even scratching their shields." Commander Gruck's face turned a deeper shade of red. "Impossible. Concentrate all fire on that human ship. We will not be defeated by these primitives." Back on the horizon, Captain Kim watched as the Voltar fleet regrouped. "They're going to try to overwhelm us with numbers," he said. "Jai-yun, activate the point defense system. Min-seo, prepare for evasive maneuvers." As the Voltar ships attacked again, the horizon sprang into action. Hundreds of small energy beams shot out from all over its hull, intercepting incoming missiles. At the same time, the massive ship moved with surprising grace, dodging the larger energy beams. "Captain," called out Jai-yun, "I'm detecting power fluctuations in the Voltar ships. I think their weapons are overheating from continuous fire." Captain Kim saw his opportunity. "This is our chance. Jae-hoon, target their weapon systems. Disable as many ships as you can." The Horizon's advanced weapons fired again. This time, instead of destroying the Voltar ships, they precisely hit their weapon ports. One by one, the Voltar ships fell silent, their ability to fight taken away. In the span of just a few minutes, the tide of the battle had completely turned. Where once there had been 50 Voltar ships ready for conquest, now there were only a handful still able to fight. On the Voltar command ship, Commander Gruck watched in disbelief as his mighty fleet was reduced to floating wreckage. This cannot be happening," he muttered. An officer approached him, fear in his eyes. "Sir, we've lost over half our ships. The rest are too damaged to fight. What are your orders?" Gruck stared at the screen, at the image of the horizon floating undamaged amidst the debris of his fleet. For the first time in his life, he felt true fear. Meanwhile, on the horizon, the crew cheered as they saw the Voltar fleet in disarray. But Captain Kim remained focused. "Stay alert, everyone. It's not over yet." He turned to Min-seo. "Open a channel to Commander Gruck. It's time to end this." As they waited for the Voltar to respond, Captain Kim looked out at the stars. He knew that what happened next would shape the future of not just the Krill, but of humanity and the entire galaxy. The space around the UES horizon was filled with the floating remains of Voltar ships. The once mighty alien fleet had been reduced to a handful of damaged vessels. On the bridge of the horizon, Captain Dae-sung Kim waited patiently for a response from the Voltar command ship. Finally, Commander Gruck's face appeared on the screen. The alien looked defeated, his red skin pale with shock. "Human. Captain," he said, his voice shaking. We surrender." A cheer went up from the Horizon's crew, but Captain Kim raised his hand for quiet. "Commander Gruck," he said firmly, "we accept your surrender. But we need to talk about the future. The attacks on the Krill must end. Forever." Gruck nodded slowly. Yes, of course. We will leave Krill space immediately." "That's not enough," Captain Kim replied. "We want a peace treaty between the Voltar, the Krill, and Earth." Gruck's eyes widened. "Earth? You mean there are more of you?" Captain Kim allowed himself a small smile. "Many more, Commander. And we're all committed to protecting peace in this part of the galaxy." As they discussed the terms of the surrender, Officer Min-seo Lee approached the captain. "Sir," she said quietly, "we're receiving transmissions from all over the sector. Word of our victory is spreading fast." Captain Kim nodded. He knew this would happen. The secret of Earth's advanced technology was out. There was no going back now. After finalizing the details with Commander Gruck, Captain Kim opened a channel to the Krill ships. Zell's blue face appeared, his eyes shining with tears of joy. "Brave humans," he said, "you have saved us. How can we ever repay you?" "There's no need for repayment," Captain Kim replied. "But we would like to establish formal relations between Earth and the Krill. We have much we can learn from each other. Zal nodded eagerly. Yes, yes. We would be honored to be friends with Earth. Over the next few hours, ships began arriving from all over the sector. Representatives from various alien races came to see the famous human ship that had defeated the Voltar fleet. The UES horizon had become the center of attention in this part of the galaxy. As Captain Kim prepared to welcome the alien diplomats, Admiral Sung Ho Choi called from Earth. "Excellent work, Captain," he said. "You've not only saved the Krill, but have put humanity on the galactic map." The UN Security Council is already preparing for increased interaction with alien races. Captain Kim felt a mix of pride and worry. "Thank you, Admiral. But are we ready for this? The whole galaxy knows about us now." Admiral Choi smiled. "Ready or not, Captain, we're part of the galactic community now. And thanks to you and your crew, we're starting on the right foot." As the call ended, Captain Kim turned to his crew. They all looked tired but proud. "Everyone," he said, "what we've done here today will be remembered for generations. We've made new friends, faced dangerous enemies, and shown the galaxy what humanity is capable of." He paused, looking at each of them. "But our job isn't over. In fact, it's just beginning. We've opened the door to a new era for Earth. There will be challenges ahead, new threats to face, and countless mysteries to solve." The crew stood a little straighter, energized by their captain's words. "So," Captain Kim continued, "let's welcome our new alien friends. Let's help build a peaceful galaxy. And let's show everyone out there what humans can really do." A cheer went up from the crew. As they prepared to receive the alien diplomats, Captain Kim looked out at the stars. Just days ago, these stars had seemed distant and unreachable. Now, they were filled with possibility. He thought about Earth, about the billions of humans who would soon learn that they were not alone in the universe. He thought about the Krill, saved from destruction and now friends of humanity. He even thought about the Voltar, hoping they had learned a valuable lesson about peace. As the first alien diplomats began to arrive on the horizon, Captain Kim straightened his uniform. A new chapter in human history was about to begin, and he and his crew were right at the center of it. The UES horizon, Earth's amazing transforming battleship, had changed everything. But Captain Kim knew that the real adventure was just starting. With a smile on his face, he went to greet the future.